Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the CORE Racing Network. Starting a little bit late tonight. Some SDK issues, surprise, surprise for me, but we are here at Michigan International Speedway for the CORE Xfinity Series, and these guys are already through qualifying, getting ready to take the green flag here, and you see it right there. Eric Andrews on the pole. Connor Gibson going to be starting in second. Josh Klinger, Justin Baxter, Dan Phelps going to be making up your top five. Then you got Caleb Collins, Kevin Foster, Sean Dunaway, Eric Corder, and Galen Wunsch going to make up your top 10, but we are not going to waste any time. It's Carl Hamrick in the booth, joined by Jimmy Covert, and we're going to take this thing right to the straightaway, right to Barney. We're going to get this thing going here already, racing here at Michigan. I'd say what, Jimmy, Michigan's got to be one of the oldest tracks that NASCAR goes to at this point. I mean, it seems like it's been around forever. I mean, I remember watching an IndyCar race here. NASCAR's been racing here for forever, obviously. But I don't care if it's old or not. This thing is just a beautiful track, and you see it right there. I mean, 30 different lines through the corners. Maybe I'm under-exaggerating that. It's just crazy how many different ways that you can take this track, and it's just a fun place to watch a race. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what is going on with my overlays even now. I mean, it's showing these guys completely in the wrong positions. It's definitely not the order that I explained before. As you're looking at Eric Andrews right there, he's definitely not in second place. So hopefully once these guys finally take a lap, yeah, there we go. Now it's sorting out, and now we'll get you to the front, which is going to be Tay McDonald. And you look at last week, Tay McDonald, a dominating car out there in the 60. You got Nick Nickerson right there in second place. Both these guys seem to be the class of the field, and really started to stretch out there in the beginning of the race. And you know, arguably it could have been down to them at the end of the race, but unfortunately, the one and only caution we experienced really threw a big wrench into everybody's plans that came in, you know, even just a little bit early, and it seemed both these guys get shuffled to the back. Nick Nickerson gets involved in an incident that pretty much takes him out of the race. Tay McDonald able to work his way back up through the field a bit, but never got to see the front of the field again. So good to see bouncing back, not wasting any time, and leading some more laps out here. Yeah, we'll take a look at what happened as we will bring that back right here, and just a little bit of, I'm not sure if that was netcar or what the case was, but hard impact there onto the inside wall for the 72. We'll take a look at it one more time here and slow it down as you see the 85 coming off the turn, and yeah, it looks like if he just turned right of the wall, sucked him in, but shoots hard off of the wall into the 72 and vanishes. So not sure if that was a netcode issue, a computer glitch, what exactly happened, but to see him blink out a good amount right there, that's not a good sign. Certainly not exactly what Caleb Collins wanted out of that whole situation, but we'll bring us under the first caution here of the night, and now we will officially take a bit of a run through of the qualifying order, since we can hopefully get that correct number up here. So here was your qualifying order here for tonight. Cody Hemingway on the pole with a 38.898. Tay McDonald started in second. Nick Nickerson, Joe Sullivan, Darrell Johnson, your top five. Dakota Camper, your winner last week. Dylan Pickelsimmer. Kelly Pointer, Nathan Estep joining the series once again. And then you got Eric Andrews, your top 10. Connor Gibson, Josh Klinger, Justin Baxter, Dan Phelps, Caleb Collins, your top 15. And you got Kevin Foster, Sean Dunaway, Eric Corder, Galen Wunsch, Cody Jacobs, your top 20. Matt Crockett, Tyler Kokeko, David Tilford, Dusty White, Casey Phelps, Derek Catt, Al Likens, and Jeff Aldrich round out your 28-car field here tonight. A lot of guys taken to pit road right there, and it looks like your leader maybe the only one staying out here. And I mean, bit of a risk, bit of a gamble there, Jimmy. I mean, do you like the strategy of staying out? I know we were only green for a couple laps, but I mean, we've seen pit strategy and well, the caution coming out in the middle of pit strategy really throw a wrench into Tay's chances last week.
Yeah, I mean, these drivers, you know, the ability to go green Six Flags don't seem like, you know, the fuel strategy that they have of only 50% here. You know, they're going to come in this, you know, the time to, you know, kind of take advantage of just getting yourself all freshed up, and especially along with everybody else. So once Nick Nickerson came in, and then Cody Hemingway, there was like just everybody just kind of followed suit to get caught up in fresh tires, fresh fuel. So that's not going to be part of their strategy now. Tay McDonald's got a different strategy going, so now he's got to fend off. Nick Nickerson has been pretty quick. Cody Hemingway, that we've already seen make his way up towards the front too. So it's going to be a lot of strategy here, and I think it's you know, it's just anybody's call. There's all kinds of things that can go on here as well, and you know, I wouldn't even be surprised if maybe one of these drivers even take a two-tire stop somewhere down the line.
Yeah, and these guys do have unlimited tires here for tonight. A little bit of an error through iRacing for that one, but typically they only have 2 sets of tires, so maybe that's why these guys coming in and just figuring, you know, what the heck, it's early enough. Why don't I just go ahead and take tires? If nobody else follows me, I at least have fresh tires. I can work my way back to the front. But I mean, literally everybody but your leader coming into pit road that time. He's going to choose the outside line, so it's going to be Tay McDonald on the outside front row to start this thing off. Nick Nickerson, Cody Hemingway, Daryl Johnson, Dakota Camper, your top 5. Biggest mover so far of the race, Sean Dunaway up 10 spots. He's up there in 7th. Galen Wench up 10 spots as well, up in 9th place. So some guys making some big moves already, and looks like some of those guys maybe either taking only 2 tires, maybe only taking fuel, but definitely shorter pit stops than the others. We're about to see what these guys can do now. Still 60, excuse me, 63 laps on the board as we get back going this time by. Pace car lights are out, and it's going to be Tay McDonald leading these guys back to green.
And you see that pace car starting to break up now, and it is a very long run there by the pace car, so they have to be a little bit patient and wait for the pace car to come down pit lane just a little bit, or if they jump, you know, they're gonna get they might get that black flag, unfortunately, because you basically end up beating the pace car down the pit lane. But they get a good start here. Tay McDonald would use that being the leader, you know, starting on him to his advantage, moving to that high side and try to keep that number 2, and Nick Nickerson underneath or, you know, behind him, and hopefully he's not able to use those fresher tires to get around with that 60.
Good start by these guys, and we'll see if they can now try and stretch out a little bit. Michigan, not exactly a track where you're going to see the fields, you know, kind of spread out and stretch out too quickly. It's going to take the run a little bit because of these guys just having all kinds of places to go. Big amount of draft that you can get. It really keeps everybody together for a little bit of the run until the tires start to wear in and guys really search around for more grip. That's when you'll see the field start stretching out. Nickerson looked to the inside there for the lead, not to be seen, but Daryl Johnson now crossing Nickerson over, coming down the backstretch, battle for second, going into turn 3.
Yeah, good battle there for Pete and number 3 and back, but you see that 93 working at a high side there, taking that second place away from Nick Nickerson. So Daryl Johnson trying to move that 93 to the front.
Nickerson fighting back on the outside now, and drag race to the line. It's going to be Daryl Johnson by a small margin, but he had his sights there a little bit on Tay McDonald coming off the corner, but the top side just having a better run. And you see that's where a lot of the guys are taking their runs right now, is on the high side, and Nickerson gets a little too high into the wall there. You definitely don't want to have damage here. I mean, this isn't Super Speedway, but it's a 2-mile track, Jimmy. It's a big track. You don't want to have aero damage.
Yeah, these little longer tracks, and this is all the sweet spot, I think, for tracks. And why I like Michigan so much? One, you have multiple lines, but it does count for some aero. You gotta protect your tires. You can get fuel strategy. This track just kind of has it all, and obviously the speed. So these drivers showing some good competition here early, as that 93 is still looking to get around that number 60 that has slightly near tire. You see that 69 slide up in front of the 75. Just barely clear Kelly Pointer there for that. It was kind of an oh moment there for me watching that. So we'll see how those drivers pan out there, as Dakota Camner's looking forward, as he was able to move that 21 machine up to the front last week.
I got a little tasty there mid-corner as Pointer tried to slide up and pull a little bit of a slide job on the 69 of Hemingway, but he wasn't able to clear him, and now he's got a fight with last week's winner, Dakota Camper, in the 21. It seems like entering the corner, everybody on the low side is certainly able to get a good drive. It's early in the tire run, so they have plenty of grip down there, but that top line, middle line is definitely the preferred line right now, especially coming off the corner. Guys getting a really good run both onto the backstretch and onto the front stretch. So I'm not surprised seeing these guys run the middle line, and we'll be surprised if they start venturing up a little higher, but we've got a bit of a battle for the lead here. Tim McDonald has lost it. It is now Daryl Johnson at the front, and Nickerson now going to join him in second place. If he can clear the 60 going into one, it looks like he's going to be able to. So new leader, new second place here, and it is Daryl Johnson at the front.
That's a good move there by Daryl Johnson, putting a 93 up front. I think you're starting to see the signs a little bit about the six lap tire difference there with the 60. But like you said, there's multiple lines here, and this race is far from over, as we're only on lap 13 of 70. With Daryl Johnson, Nick Nickerson, Tay McDonald, Cody Hemingway, and Kelly Pointer leading the pack.
Have a battle back here for the back half of the top 10. Connor Gibson on the inside. You got the 50 of Justin Baxter on the outside. They're both right behind the 9 of Eric Andrews. These guys battling for 7th, 8th, and 9th, and then not too far behind them is the 8 of Kevin Foster. Looks like he's in the 88 here tonight, so I guess maybe double the chances of winning here, Jimmy. Is that what he's going for? Maybe either way, he's making a pass here and moving himself up to 9th.
Maybe his sticker guy forgot to put the 8 on the other side of the car, and double it up on the side. But Kevin's not, you've seen Kevin do very, very well here, and wouldn't be surprised later on to see that 8 car or 88 up front. So I think maybe just a special paint there from the Bass Pro Shops Club.
I mean, I know him and Mark Gonzalez are both Texas boys, so maybe that is the case, but we've got a big accident coming off onto the backstretch, and that involves our leaders and a bunch of cars. Total carnage on the backstretch here in Michigan. Let's take a look back and see if we can see what brought that out. And looks like, let's take a look back one more time and see the start of that. As very close, looks like the 60 sliding up a little bit, the 21 trying to get up there and avoid contact, but they just kind of meet in the middle. 60 gets hooked hard into the wall, brings along the 50, the 9, the 8 of Foster getting involved. Looks like the 31 is going to get involved as well. The 98 making a good evasive maneuver, but Netcode gets him right there. I mean, that was not even close to being contact, so a lot of guys getting involved in this one.
Yeah, that was a pretty big one there, Carl. Was it just kind of just go around with the Kevin Foster, and you see later down the road, I mean, the 9 got smashed by the 92 as they were, people were still trying to check up, and I think when those caution flags fly, everybody's so used to kind of like wanna days of thunder the run and hopefully make the clear, and it does make for an exciting adrenaline rush. But I think sometimes just as soon as you see that caution flag fly, you're pretty much the field is on a freeze, and as far as the positions go, and you just kind of slow down, avoid cars that might be in the middle of the road and whatever it may take to get back. But yeah, big one here at Michigan, as we have plenty more laps remaining.
Take a look on board from the 199 of Galen Wench, and you see how quickly this thing happens. And hear him trying to get on the brakes, trying to avoid as much as he can. You see he did not make contact at all there. That's a real shame that net coach showed that he did to cause even more carnage in that. But that's going to bring out our second caution here of the day, and it's going to bring along everybody into the pits this time. Everybody back on the same pit strategy. Daryl Johnson going to lead the guys into pit lane. But man, a lot of guys involved in that. A lot of the guys from up front. Seen a lot of the guys have to tow as well. Just taking a look back at some of the guys that I seen had to tow, as man, just so much going on here. We've seen Al Likens having to tow, Sam McDonald towing, Dakota Camper towing as well, and not going to be good for those guys. I mean, I guess it's good that this is a bigger track and maybe you won't lose as much time, but it all depends on how long that tow is. As you see, looks like Eric Andrew, Dylan Picklesimmer, Matt Crockett all going to still remain on that lead lap if they get out of pit lane. Looks like Dylan Picklesimmer still in there as the field is coming by right now, but Caleb Collins looks like he's going to be down a lap. Al Likens is already down a lap. Tay McDonald, Dakota Camper down 2 laps already. So a lot of race to go yet. A lot can still happen, and you know, again, it takes a little bit for these guys to get sorted out. So the chance of going down an extra lap isn't as great, and the chance of fighting for that lucky dog to get you back at least 1 lap back and 2 laps back is a chance. And these guys are a little racy here tonight. It's just, it sucks, and I know from both those guys, from the 60 and Tay McDonald and from the 21 Dakota Camper, that's the last thing they wanted to do is make contact with each other. It was just hard racing there, and it happens. But man, a lot of guys taken out there, and got to mix it up here a bit for sure. Nick Nickerson dropping all the way back to 14th. Not sure if he was in that at all. I thought he was up in front of that, but it looks like a longer pit stop for him. And not really sure why. I mean, it wasn't long enough for it to be a penalty. At least I don't think so, but a good 15, 16 seconds longer than everybody else. But either way, he is back there in 14th right now as his field starts to get sorted back out here. It is going to be Daryl Johnson at the front, Kelly Pointer, Cody Hemingway, Galen Wench, and Josh Klinger in your top 5.
Yeah, I really think, you know, maybe just a strategy Nick had, or maybe some iRacing has called or whatnot, but definitely going to be interesting to watch that too work his way through. So, but right now, Daryl Johnson, Kelly Pointer are going to lead this pack down as the pace car enters the field. And they do go green. 93 gets a fantastic jump, you know, lead of those 2 cars and down along with the rest of the field. The 69 is also going to duck down below the 75 as he has got a pretty decent start. Going to try to use them fresh tires to get by the 75 and move that 69 up towards the front, as we now have a 3-way bottom for the lead. But it looks like the 69 is going to prevail with that low line and fresh tires.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it looked like the 93 was looking at his mirror a little bit, maybe protected a high line, because the 75 of Kelly Pointer was getting a good run and looked to take the lead on the high side and forgot to look low. And the 69 of Cody Hemingway took full advantage of that, moved himself into the lead, and that Pointer's going to look to the bottom off onto the front stretch for a battle for second place now to get around Daryl Johnson. But they are 3 wide behind them right now. I mean, these guys are 20 laps in, but already getting racy as the 31 of Gibson, the 70 of Klinger, and the 199 of Wench all right there battling for your top 5 positions. I know these guys had a couple cautions to start here, but getting a little randy pretty early here.
Fire up the boys out there ready to go racing. It's Michigan, baby, so they're gonna, you know, every time we come here, we've always seen great racing, no matter the series, no matter the car. It just, this track just continues to put on great races, and they're doing the exact same thing here. Just another night here at iRacing.
Still 2 wide, still battling for second place as the 75 of Pointer looks like he's got reservations for 1 at the front. Trying to make a run now down the backstretch, heads to the inside of Hemingway. Going to take it down to the inside of turn 3 move the 75 up to the lead here. Pointer is going to take it. Looks like the 93 of Johnson would love to get back into second place, but just hanging out right now. Meanwhile, the guys right behind him starting to reel him in. 70 of Klinger is up there. Top 5 for Connor Gibson right now, as well as Hemingway looks to the outside again, and these guys just searching around and just all kinds of grip on these fresh tires. And yeah, it gets you in the mood. It gets you a little racy right now with these fresh tires, but it certainly gets you into a little bit of mix here. It's a big track. It's heavy on the graphics. It's heavy on the internet, and it brings that nasty netcode into play. And I hate that that's the case, but it certainly can be the case at these bigger tracks.
Yeah, I mean, it's because of how fast it is, how many lines there is, and you know, the only way to really avoid netcode is, you know, to drive away from it. This is bad math, I think, with, you know, latency problems between servers and computers and different hard drives, whatever it may be. But either case, the drivers are doing the best they can and having one heck of a race right now. And you can see the drivers right now as they're pulling up on Eric Andrews, as he had some issues. I don't know if it was some iRacing flags or positions, because you know how iRacing does some drivers not correct when you seem like you think you're in the right spot, and throw you you know, black or you know, passing on a caution, maybe that may not have been needed. But so he's going to have to cope with that there as he is one lap down, but trying to stay in front of the 75. And we've seen Eric Andrews in the past have really great runs here, so he's a big contender here, and I'm sure he's hoping that Koch will come out. And, well, maybe not right now, because Eric would have to get around Caleb Collins in order to be that lucky dog position.
Yeah, we talked last week about Kevin Foster loving Kansas. That's the love affair that Eric Andrews has with this place here. Big fan of Michigan, and certainly not the start that he wanted to see here. Way back there in 24th, one lap down, and he's got a long way till he catches Caleb Collins, because he is not too far in front of the leaders right now. You see him entering turn 1 right now with the leaders right behind him, already threatening to put him a second lap down. So I think he would probably love a caution right now just to get back up with the mix of the field and then worry about that lucky dog the next time by. But as it stands right now, the 75 of Kelly Pointer leading this thing. Cody Hemingway, Darrell Johnson, Josh Klinger, Nathan Estep, and Connor Gibson, your breakaway 6 right now at the front. And then just a little bit of a gap back to the next group there, starting with the 12 of Dave Tilford.
Yeah, and like these drivers right here, the 12, the 76, and the 199, being followed by Nick Nickerson in that too. You know, I don't think this is a bad place to be. You know, you're looking ahead, you're seeing those drivers up there, how racy they are. You're not far, you know, you're not far off the pace. But you know, those drivers, if this thing goes long, you gotta get a long green flag run, they could have the tires to hopefully catch up and even pass them. You just gotta be consistent back there. It's kind of sitting like you know, in that catbird seat.
These guys finally finding a little bit of running room here as they're starting to get to a little bit here, and we are 26 laps in, and yeah, new leader here at the front is going to be Cody Hemingway, as he is going to move down to the bottom. He's going to get around the 75, move himself back into the front. Kelly's going to fall back into second, but Josh Klinger looking to make his move here at the front. Big wiggle there by the 56 of Estep, and that's going to slide both those guys back a little bit, and it is going to be Hemingway, Pointer, Johnson, then Estep and Klinger. Your top 5. That was very close. Big wobble there for the 56. Almost collected him and the 70 in a bit of a mess right there, but everybody keeps it straight. Maybe need a change of shorts after that, but don't need a change of a bumper or anything like that, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, all fenders are intact after that move. I'm sure a little close call there, and yeah, hold the breath, but nothing happened there on lap 27. But now lap 28, Cody Hemingway's out front over Darrell Johnson, Kelly Pointer, Nathan Estep, and Josh Klinger as they continue to battle back and forth, changing positions as the next group behind them coming on up is going to be led by the 76 of Joe Sullivan and Connor Gibson, Nick Nickerson, Dave Tilford, and Elon Wunsch. Is that it?
Yep.
Driving
yep.
it. Yeah. driving that 199 car. Just looking back on that high side, and you have Danny White, Kevin Foster's back in there, Tyler Kokeko, Jeffrey Aldrich, Derek Catt, Eric Corder, Dan Phelps, Cody Jacobs.
And we've got an incident on the backstretch again. Going to bring out the yellow, and looks like Nickerson might have been involved in that one as well. So once again, the slide to the back for Nickerson does not work out well. Take a look at that again, and oh my God, and I just got done saying it earlier. Bigger tracks, a lot of graphics, netcode. I mean, that was, you can't get much worse than that, Jimmy. I mean, that was about a foot, maybe 2 foot in between there. You could fit a tire in between those two guys. That was horrible netcode right there. I mean, the 31 maybe came down a little bit, but nowhere near contact. But unfortunately, the 31 of Jacobs and the, it was a 31 of Jake. Yeah, the 31 there of Connor Jacobs and the, or sorry, Connor Gibson. That's what it is. And the 2 of Nick Nickerson involved in a heavy incident right there.
Yeah, it's, there definitely was, you've seen that 31 come down a little bit, but, the cars did not touch, and, whether they would have touched or not, it's that mathematical equation in the latency between the computers that says probably. So it basically hits the one car, and obviously hitting a car on the right rear is going to give him that good old pit maneuver, sending Nick Nickerson around. Yet here again. So 2 weeks in a row, tough break for Nick Nickerson.
But Galen Winch got caught in that one as well. But going to bring out our third caution here of the night, and going to bring everybody back into pit lane, except for probably a lot of those guys that are lapped out and certainly loving this caution right now. Looks like Eric Andrews is going to come into pit lane. So I'm not sure if he still had damage or what the case was, but he is still going to be a lap down regardless. Not going to be taken around, but it looks like Caleb Collins is going to get your lucky dog this time. And everybody else more than happy to bring it that pit road. Tay McDonald, Al Likens, Dakota Camper, and Justin Baxter look like they're all going to stay out, try and get that wave around and get them all back to one lap down. So Eric Andrews going to have a fight on his hands here to try and be that lucky dog, but he'll have fresh tires to do it. Still early here, still just shy of halfway right now. Should be getting green right around that halfway mark. 31 or 30 laps in the books. Going to be 31 this time by. Looks like Cody Hemingway wins the battle off of pit road. Kelly Pointer, Nathan Eastep, Josh Klinger, Darrell Johnson, your top 5. They got Joe Sullivan, Dave Tilford, Galen Winch, Kevin Foster, and Sean Dunaway, your top 10.
Yeah, the rest of the field, dude, obviously outstanding job there, Carl. I mean, you got 23 drivers still on the lead lap as of right now. And, the next 5 are all only 1 lap down. And I'm sure we'll see plenty of battling back there as we've got some fast drivers in the back. Hoping that another caution comes out and they don't get involved. So maybe they can get their lap back, or they can stay out and get a wave around. And, you never know. This race is only about not quite halfway over. These drivers are so competitive each and every single week, and they try to put on the best show possible for the fans out there. But like you said, right now it's all about that 69 Cody Hemingway, followed by the 75 Kelly Pointer.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't go without saying that both these cautions happen at the front of the field. It happened with these guys towards the front. I mean, the first one happened pretty much right at the front. The second one in the second pack there. So you still had a good 15-20 cars behind this wreck. So the fact that it happened like that, and we didn't have a massive pileup really on either one. I mean, the first one involved I think 5 or 6 or 7 cars, but it could have been 20 very easily. It could have been a super speedway type of mess, but these guys did a good job blowing up and letting the cars kind of go to where they need to be and then work their way around them. It could have been a lot worse. So good job by these guys to not make it a lot worse than it is. Looks like a little bit of a mix up there. Maybe Cody Hemingway, not sure which line he wanted to take, but he's now officially going to take the inside for this restart here. Again, Pointer going to join him on the outside. You got Nathan Eastep and Josh Klinger on your second row. Going to be going green this time by 23 on the lead lap, and then the rest of the field only 1 lap down. So the lucky dog position going to be very big and very important to fight for here for those guys in the back, and they're all good drivers that could certainly get a win here tonight. But right now, the 69 going to lead them back to the green.
Pace car's in, and it's like that long, drawn-out pause, getting ready to go green. But they're in the Geico restart range, and the 69 is going to get on the lap pedal and head his way down on the turn 1, followed by the 56 of Nathan Estep to 60-75 of Kelly Pointer that outside, followed by the 70. And here's some of the drivers talking about, obviously our one rule is maintain your lane until you get past the start-finish lane, so no passing, like switching lanes for these drivers. That's just to help things, keep things clean with these drivers, so then people ain't driving 3 wide. Now, if somebody misses a shift or something, we kind of get it. So we're not oblivious to some of the things that can happen while you're in a car. But good start here by the 69 as he leads this race here on lap 33 over Nathan Estep.
Still battling back here in the back half of the top 5 as you got to the 76 of Joe Sullivan in 5th. In 6th place, you got a battle between Galen Lynch, the 199, and the 93 of Daryl Johnson. Still side by side going back and forth. Right behind them, you got the 8/88 there of Kevin Foster and the 12 of Dave Tilford battling for 8th and 9th. We are coming up on the halfway mark here. Looks like Nick Nickerson back out there, got a clean car. Gotta be the last time he gets a clean car if he gets another wreck here. Certainly has used that fast repair, but looks like he's maybe driving like a pissed off teenager right now. He doesn't want to get caught mid-pack, backpack. He's like, no, I'm tired of this. It's been 2 races in a row now. I've been caught up in these issues towards the back. I need to get to the front. I need that big red number 2, getting that clean air, and just get away from everybody. And of course, he's got a blinker in front of him. That's not what he wants to see.
Yeah, and then as that car has been flagged kind of by some of the other drivers, letting them even blinking a little bit. But yeah, the 2, Nick Nickerson is now around some drivers probably used to being around. He's raced Kevin Foster many times, and Dave Tilford's been around CORE for a while, so obviously with a pretty good clean driving record. So maybe feel a little safer here. Maybe it's gonna tuck in behind that 88 and just kind of follow him up through as there's a little over half. Well, we just broke the halfway mark here as we continue here at Michigan.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm Nick Nickerson, I don't trust anybody at this point. I'm just trying to get past as many cars as possible right now and put everybody in the rearview mirror. I don't want to have any chance of an issue. If I get into an issue, it's because of my own doing at this point, especially after those races. See him looking there to go 3 wide in the middle, but it's going to back out here, fall behind Kevin Foster again as these guys still battle for the back half of the top 10.
Yeah, so Nick Nickerson working his way back up to P number 8. But our biggest, we have a couple big movers here. Got Dave Tilford up 13 spots along with Galen Lynch. So making moves. And obviously Nathan Estep up there. We got passed by Kelly Pointer, falling to P number 3. But also Josh Klinger in at number 70, up 8 spots as well. And back in the back, and because we have such a big field, Jeffrey Aldrich moving from the back. He's up 10 spots there, racing in P and number 18.
I'd say you can't miss him. If you're looking for his number, you might miss it as he's got that pink on pink action there. But he is a 16. I promise you, if you look real hard, it's kind of like finding, where's Waldo? There's a 16 on that car, but can't miss the color for sure. And he's got the wheels to match it. But yeah, up 10 spots from his start. Dave Tilford up 13. Galen Lynch up 12. Those are your biggest movers of the race. You got Kevin Foster up 10 as well. Biggest guys falling back are obviously those guys caught up in that initial wreck. You got Tim McDonald back 24, Dakota Camper back 22, Eric Andrews back 14, and Justin Baxter back 12. And take a look right here in front of Jeff Aldridge, not too far, is Eric Andrews trying to keep as much room and as much cars in between him and Justin Baxter, who would be the next guy fighting him for that lucky dog position. So very important for Eric Andrews to keep that lap pedal down if he wants to get back on the lead lap if another caution were to come out here. I mean, you have to put yourself in the right position. If it doesn't come out, it doesn't come out. It's what's in the cards. But you have to do everything that you can, and he's doing that so far. But it's got to be frustrating. I know he really loves coming here, and I know he was really looking forward to this race. And hell, iRacing and, well, not iRacing, but SDK originally, I think, had him on the polar heading starting second before it actually corrected itself. So it must have known what he normally does here. But snuck it in there, and back there in 24th right now, first car lap down.
Yeah, well, first car, one lap down. We're going to keep those other drivers behind him as he works his way through the field. But doing a fantastic job. And I just want to shout out to that pink on pink car. I mean, I think Dane Simpson has taken over and bringing on sponsorships here for iRacing.
Well, meanwhile, we'll take a look at what happened at the front of the field. This is the battle for first, and we've got a new leader at the front, Nathan Estep, joining the series this week. He's been in CORE before, but it took a little bit of a hiatus and back this season. First race out here with these guys and already taking it to him, already moving himself to the front. So we've seen it last week with Dakota Camper. He took a little bit of a hiatus away from CORE, comes back, wins his first race, and now first race back for Nathan Estep, already finding his way to the front. So I guess that's what you got to do. Just take a little break and you come back fresh.
That's it. But no, we're out here, and you can see how close and how, Nathan Estep out there, obviously leading the pack right now. And I think maybe the 69, 70 just kind of following suit. There's plenty of laps remaining, maybe saving a little bit of fuel. Try to get that last fuel stop or a pit stop in their pocket with the best they can. But right now, all the drivers are doing a fantastic job. It looks like the Dakota Camper is currently in the pits. So, last call there for some of these drivers is we've seen a few people pit now as they had to. I think they didn't go in. They just took that wave around. So
yeah, they took the wave around. So now maybe needing to come into pits at this point, but. Battle for second place and possibly for the lead as Josh Klinger gets the inside of the 69 of Hemingway, now to the inside of the 56 of Nathan Estep, and the 70 trying to lead the lap here, and gonna be close, but gonna do so as they are 2 by 2 at the front as Sullivan joins the inside. You got the 69 of Hemingway on the outside, and I mean, these guys are, they're used to being 2 by 2. They had a little bit of yellows at the front, but now they're 2 by 2 a little bit faster and making some good racing up here for the top four. And I don't know what I'd be thinking about Nick Nickerson at the back of this field. Like, here we go again. Let's just calm it down, boys. Let me get by you, and then you guys can race it out all you want. But Nickerson has joined the back of this field here in seventh place, but now we've got 3 wide coming off the corner for second.
Kind of 69, kind of guessing what he wants to go high, low. 56 of Nathan Estep goes high to take that line away from the 69. But it looks like the 76 of Caleb Collins is going to go, excuse me, Joe Sullivan. I talk to Caleb all the time as well. But Joe Sullivan going to that low side underneath the 69, trying to block this. But the track is too wide, Carl. You can't block 5 lanes, and they can drive pretty much 3 wide pretty comfortably around here. Except for through the corners, there is the 76 and 70 almost touch. No deck code that time around, but keeping it clean, keeping it green here on lap 44.
The 69 Hemingway going to the outside and going to retake the lead. And this is kind of it's a test for these guys. How high do you want to go? It seems like the middle line is where you want to be, but that high line just got a little bit more speed. And you've seen the 69 of Hemingway just tiptoe a little bit higher than Estep through 3 and 4, able to work around him coming off onto the front stretch. And new leader once again as Hemingway moves to the front. Sullivan gets a big run down the backstretch, shoving that 56 of Estep into corner number 3. As we've got Hemingway, Estep, Sullivan, Klinger, Foster, Nickerson, Pointer, Wench, Johnson, and Tilford, your top 10. The check back be in a lap, and it's going to change.
Yeah, you go back there next to Dan Phelps. He's in the middle of a 3-wide sandwich here to the 98 and the 0-1. So those drivers back there continuing to battle as well. And it's it's only halfway back to the field.
Yeah, this is the battle back here just outside the top 10, so not exactly that far back. These guys are still doing some good battling. Nathan Estep starting to lose ground a little bit here, maybe on the high side as Foster moves way high and going to lose a little bit of ground as well as Hemingway starting to gap these guys a little bit. They're still doing a little battling behind him, and he's going to check out a little bit. Sullivan in second, Estep in third, a Klinger on the inside there in fourth, Nickerson in fifth, as you got Foster and Pointer following right behind these guys, just maybe trying to stay out of trouble right now. But Nickerson goes 3 wide, goes up to that top line, gonna look for 3rd place.
Yeah, good move there from Nick. I think maybe just trying to, he had that gap, and, you know, is going for right now. He's sitting in P number 4 as that 76 is looking down the inside. So they keep trading places back and forth, many lines to get around here, and it's hard to block them all. As you can see, they're 2 wide from you know, 3rd place all the way back to 5th place or 6th place. So they're doing a great, fantastic job. But this is going to be about it for me, Carl. I need to step on out of here. I got to warp myself over to Rockingham and for our next event. But wish the rest of the drivers the best of luck out there. And whoever comes out on top tonight, congratulations.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be an interesting one, and we'll let you know how this thing pans out. We'll see you soon over there for UCRL for their 3rd race of the season at Rockingham with these Xfinity cars, as the CORE Xfinity Series putting on a great show now that they've finally gotten a little bit of running. It's got to be somewhat getting close to your pit stop window here under green, so you're really interested to see what these guys do. It seems like they're starting to kind of file out, maybe single file a little bit here, not letting Hemingway get away too quickly, as it seems like the field wanted to get single file. They're reeling back in. They do so. Sullivan still hangs on to 2nd. Nickerson now up to 3rd. He's up to 4th. Klinger in 5th, but you got a mad field coming behind them, as right behind Pointer we got Wench right back in the mix of this thing, as he's been up there a little bit today and getting involved in that a little bit as well. But got that car nice and clean one more time and trying to make his way up into the front, getting really closer to Pointer coming off the corner, as Foster was right there watching the whole thing. All these guys trying to make their laps back, as well as you got the 60 of Tay McDonald right in the mix of this thing. He is 2 laps down now, along with Baxter, Camper, and Likens, as those guys had to make their green flag pit stops. So trying to get up through the field the hard way and get 1 lap back and hope that they can maybe get another wave around. But they are 3 wide right now, and maybe even 4 wide. I mean, these guys are all over the place. I understand these lap cars trying to battle for positions as well, because they want to try and get back on the lead lap, and getting up through the field is going to help them do that. As you got some of the guys taking the pit road already. You got Nickerson, Tilford in pit lane, and we are getting feisty up at the front, as these leaders are going to have to come down into pit soon, and they got these lap cars down the inside line.
Yeah, it's like something that, you know, as I'm transitioning races here, I don't know, to add some input. So there's just some good racing and like this, you know, decision making here. You know, as those drivers are out there, you know you need to pit. You know, do I pit now and get my stuff done, or am I going to get caught, you know, almost a lap down? So Michigan's right there first. You know, you go in and you might lose a lap, you know, depending on how much work needs to be done to your car. But yeah, there's really big decisions here when it comes to the end of this race.
A ton of guys coming into pits this time by. It's going to give the lead over to Josh Klinger at the front, and he's got Tay McDonald all over the back of him, wants to get that lap back here. But that's another big thing too, is these guys coming in and off the pit road. Michigan, an easy pit road to get onto, but one that you're coming in fast. You can get off that track, you get on the pit road very fast, and you want to maximize every inch and every bit of speed coming in, as well as coming off the pits. And you see right there, you see Klinger getting in hot, and looks like Kevin Foster getting in a little bit too hot behind him. Not sure if either guy got slowed up, because Foster certainly gave him a bit of a shove there. See if either of those guys have to serve any kind of penalties, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. You get in just a little bit too hot, and it's a give and take. You want to get every little bit that you can, but you get just a little bit too much, and it's gonna hurt you. But this is now the battle for the lead, as it's going to play out here. You got David Tilford on the inside, Cody Hemingway on the outside. Hemingway going to hold on to it, but this is the first time we're seeing Tilford this far up in the field. Showing right now it's 6th and 7th, but you see them going past the guys in pits right now. They're going to filter back up to the top. So there it is, Hemingway, Tilford, Nickerson now looking to the high side for 2nd place. Looks like Pointer is going to find himself in 4th, but this pit stop certainly shaking up the field a bit here. You got the guys that were towards the back that were a lap down. You got Eric Andrews still a lap down there in the pits, but Dakota Camper, Justin Baxter, Tim McDonald, Al Likens, Joe Sullivan, all one lap down. Those guys are the ones battling for the lucky dog position if the caution were to come out. But we're on lap 53, now 54 here of 70. Taking a look back in the field, these are the guys that pit just a little bit later. You got Klinger trying to work his way back up through the field. He's got Darryl Johnson right behind him. They're going past Tay McDonald there. Tay would certainly love to be battling these guys for positions. Unfortunately, getting caught up in that early wreck has really put a burden on this race for him, as they came in early and they had a ton of speed running up through this field and trying to get their lap back the hard way. But now it is the exact opposite situation, and they're just watching these guys passing right back. Looks like Foster back in pit lane, and certainly that is because of penalty coming in, either unsafe entry or speeding into pit road. Doesn't look like Klinger got involved in any kind of pit road incident there, as he's going to come out clean, and he is now in 6th place, as we're going to change, as Nathan Estep going to make it past the 12 of David Tilford. So move the 56 up to 4th, Tilford back to 5th, as Hemingway, Nickerson, and Pointer lead the way. So guys blinking in and out. That's what is shuffling out the standings here a bit, but as it stands right now, you got Hemingway, Nickerson, Pointer, Estep, Tilford, your top 5. Klinger, Johnson, Picklesimmer, Phelps, and Gibson, your top 10. Kokeko, Collins, Dunaway, Cat, Aldrich, Crockett, Porter, Phelps, Jacobs, and White round out your top 20, as we've still got 21 guys on the lead lap. So a great showing by these guys, as it got a little feisty at the beginning, and certainly Netcode getting involved in there as well. But these guys have figured it out here. We've been green for quite some time here. Now on lap 57 of 70, so good run by these guys. But we are down to 14 laps to go here in Michigan. Hemingway leading the way by about 0.4 of a second, but Nickerson is back trying to take the fight to him. And I mean, he's been involved in 2 big wrecks in 2 races, but still up here has a chance to win here at Michigan. So I guess it's not necessarily all a bad thing, but it's lit a fire under him for sure. And now in 2nd place, and certainly running down on that 69 of Hemingway. Taking a look back in the field, and the biggest movers in the race here, you got David Tilford up 17 spots, started back in 23rd and up to 6th right now, and just falling back to 7th, but still up 16 spots right there. Tyler Kokeko up into the top 10 after starting in 22nd, so he is up 12 spots. A great run for him so far. Derek Cat started back there in 26th, and he is up 12 spots to 14th. Jeff Aldrich right behind him, and he is a big mover too. Started shotgun on the field in 28th and is up to 15th right now. One of the 2 guys that did not qualify here for the race, along with Al Likens. And I mean, Al is up 1 spot. He's back here, and he got involved in the incident earlier, 2 laps down. Certainly not where he wants to be, but he is back here, still running in 26th, as looks like Kevin Foster is going to retire the car for the race here. Just not the race that he wanted, and not the start to the Xfinity Series that he wanted, as he had the issues last week at Kansas, and having the same thing at Michigan. Not what that 18 wants to see, but another DNF for Foster. At the front, the lead is getting smaller between 1st and 2nd, getting bigger between 2nd and 3rd, so it's a 2-car breakaway, but only a 1/4 second separates 1st from 2nd. Hemingway over Nickerson right now. These guys stretching it out. This time by, it is going to be 10 laps to go here at Michigan. So it's about time to crank these guys up. and let you guys listen to a little Love to Hear It. Change at the front of the field, and there's Nick Nickerson now at the front as these guys are coming to 5 to go. We'll take you back real quick and show you how the pass happened, and a big dive down into turn number 3 for Nickerson. Hemingway at the top and gets a little too much of the top, gets into the wall. Gives the option to Nick Nickerson to make the pass, and he's not going to think twice about it. Moves himself into first place. Take you back now live. We are 5 to go here as the leader is now coming onto the backstretch. It's not a big lead. It is 0.1 seconds for the first 2 guys. And third place, Nathan Estep, not exactly too far behind either. The top 4 all within a second as Hemingway back to the top, Nickerson back to the bottom. And Hemingway, you see, loses a bunch of time entering the corner, but when he gets off of the corner, that's when the time just drops and drops. You see about 0.3 of a second behind off the corner. By the time they get to turn 1, it is down to 0.2 of a second. So a lot of time gained by the top line and by that draft. You see Nickerson now maybe trying to take that line away a bit, but Hemingway is still digging, still gaining, still right there, as you got Estep and Klinger just waiting for these guys to mix it up. This time by, it is now going to be 3 laps to go. Nickerson showing at the front, and for once doesn't want any kind of cautions to come into play and interfere with this, as he has got the number 2 exactly where he wants it in the lead here, but the likes of Hemingway, Estep, and Klinger not going to give it to him easily at all, as The top four now separated by less than 3/4 of a second as third and fourth are drafting each other. They are trying to run down this top two. Hemingway right there again, gonna again take it to the high side. Nickerson down low, and then the guys right behind him at third and fourth taking that middle line. So these guys are all over the track looking to try and gain an advantage on each other, but it's still Nickerson at the front, and we've got 2 laps to go here at Michigan. Through turns 1 and 2, again, take us different lines. There are all 4 of the drivers, but as it pans out, we are still 3/4 of a second between the top 4. Another 1 and 3/4 seconds back to 5th place Kelly Pointer, but Klinger now getting tired of being behind. E-Step says it's time to go. He's going to move to the inside and try and take 3rd place away. Going to come up and chop off the nose just a little bit there. But Nickerson taking the white flag this time by. 1 lap to go. Hemingway right there. Will we see a late lap pass here? As again taking a little bit different lines. E-Step going to the inside of Klinger in the battle back there for 3rd, and maybe a little rubbing his racing back there, but it is very close down the backstretch. Less than 1/10 of a second. Hemingway now going to look to the inside into turn number 3. Who's it going to be? Both guys in the line that they maybe don't prefer. Hemingway on the bottom, Nickerson on the top. Hemingway's going to drift up a little bit. Now he's going to play some defense off the corner. Gets that car turned down a bit. And just in time as Nickerson had the line there, but it is going to be Hemingway, your winner here at Michigan. Barely over Nick Nickerson. Klinger going to hold on to 3rd. Nathan E-Step, Kelly Pointer, your top 5. Darrell Johnson, Picklesimmer, Phelps, Tilford, and Kokeko round out your top 10. But what a finish by these boys here tonight. Fantastic run to end this thing, and man, Hemingway needed to do everything he could to get that car turned down in front of the 2. Barely did so, but he comes away with the win here tonight. Fantastic finish. Fortunate finish for some of those guys that started towards the front, like your Tay McDonald's and your Dakota Campers, Eric Andrews, Joe Sullivan even finishing way back there in 21st. I'm guessing having some pit road issues, but not the case here for Cody Hemingway. Started on the pole. Didn't look like anybody was just going to get there and check out. I thought there for a second Nickerson was going to be able to check away, and the incident there from Hemingway getting into the wall was going to cost him. But talk about fighting back and getting to the top spot here. Great finish for Hemingway, and he's going to grab the win. We'll try and pull him in for a quick interview before we head over to the UCRL broadcast, and we'll try and actually get the top 3 in here for an interview real quick. And if it will let me drag some people down here. All right. So we'll go ahead and start our interviews with the 3rd place finisher here tonight, and that is going to be the 70 of Josh Klinger. And Josh, heck of a run here tonight. It was definitely a racy race for sure, to say the least. But you got to witness the battle up front, and you couldn't really just take your eyes on them completely, because you got a bit of a battle there with Nathan E-Step for that final step on the podium. Talk me through the final laps, as it seemed like that's where really all the intensity really started to amp up.
Yeah, absolutely. It started at the end of that last pit cycle there when I was able to stay out one lap. I kind of figured I would be, going forward at the end there. So I was just kind of checking the relative, and I was watching the numbers get smaller, but not letting that get to my head. You got a line to run, and as much as that battle in front was real exciting, I wasn't really watching them until I had already come off of 4 and was clear. I didn't even know that there was a lap car passing me on the outside. I was just trying to defend 56. But props to him for keeping that 100% clean. That was about as clean as it can get here at Michigan, and the top 2 almost bend it coming to the line. And I think I had an opportunity there if they got a little more squirrely.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was looking at. It seemed like you guys were maybe working together a little bit. When we started watching the battle there at the end, you guys were just a little bit over a second behind. And towards the end there, you were within 3/4 of a second. It seemed like you guys were gaining. Were you working together at all? Were you just kind of pacing yourself behind Nathan there in the run to try and catch those guys at the front, or were your eyes just set on that top three?
No, we weren't working together at all. My eyes were on the pillars of the car, trying to make sure I didn't have any yaw coming off the corner, because that was my only shot at keeping forward momentum. And as long as I could keep rolling forward, as long as there wasn't a bumper right in front of me getting up on corner exit, then I was going to keep rolling forward, and that's what we tried to do.
Well, it worked out very nicely. You get yourself a podium here tonight. Great run here. You started back there outside the top 10, but you get yourself into third. So a win here tonight for the 70 team.
Oh, absolutely. I don't tend to run well at Michigan, and usually in officials I get wrecked. So I'll put in enough practice. I can run a consistent line. But I mean, honestly, I would have loved to see how it shook out without tires. Because I qualified terrible, as we said. But in the long run, I think that's when I really started to come forward. And at the end of the runs, right before pit stops, that's when I could make up the most ground.
Yeah, it seems like every time the iRacing comes out with these updates, it kind of messes with the sessions one way or another. So I'll make sure that the sessions are all corrected going forward. But you get yourself a podium here tonight. So great job at Michigan. Next week, you guys are going to be heading to. I forget here for a second. You guys are going to be heading to Milwaukee. Certainly a different track than the first two that you guys ran at with Texas and Michigan here tonight. How are your feelings going to Milwaukee?
You won't be talking to me next week. I'll tell you that much.
Maybe in the garage and a early caution. We'll be talking to you at some point. But so I'm guessing not exactly a flat track specialist.
No, I mean New Hampshire is about as close as it gets, and that's only because I'm a Christopher Bell fan. So watching him come through the field, I kind of took some notes from that. But I'm not a Milwaukee fan whatsoever.
All right, well. Here's hoping that things work out and we get to talk to you next week. But either way, enjoy your podium here tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to or thanks to before we let you go?
Yes, sir. I know we got Dollar General in the car. We got Tire Tracks Automotive and MF Racing Designs cooking up a beautiful paint scheme. We'll get that here maybe next week, maybe the week after. We'll have to see. But I appreciate it, guys.
All right, that is going to be your third place finisher here tonight, the 70 of Josh Klinger. Josh, we'll see you next week at Milwaukee.
Thank you, sir. Will do.
Looks like Nickerson not going to be available for interview here tonight for second place. So we'll go ahead and bring in your winner here tonight. That is going to be the 69 of Cody Hemingway. Cody, you had the pole here for tonight, and you kind of dropped back a little bit, came back up to the lead, dropped back a little bit, came back to the lead. Then it looked like you kind of had this thing, maybe not under wraps, but you were comfortable. You started venturing to that extreme high line, and it bit you a little bit. Did you think you might have thrown the race away at that point, or were you just head down and trying to fight back?
Yeah, no, I thought I did the same thing. I was told myself, all right, just cruise, and then next thing you know, I'm turning the wheel left and turn 3 and 4, and it's going straight. I just overcooked it a little bit on entry and got into the wall a little bit. Thought I pissed it away. Would just kept telling myself that maybe Nick burnt up his tires a little bit, so I just kept getting after it, getting my momentum on the high side, and was able to get that run.
So talk to me about that. I mean, you come off of turn 2, you get a fantastic run on that last lap. You get to right back to the back bumper. You guys were running, you were on the high line, he was on the low line. Was that a concern going into the final corner there, knowing that you were going to have to dive down low and kind of trade lines for that last lap, and you had to pull a little bit of a slide job there?
Yeah, I was not. Coming off of turn 2, I was not thinking it was going to work out, but I got such a good run. I was able to get a good, half a car on him going into 3 and 4. So I was able to just, sail it off a little bit. And I think he backed out a little earlier than I thought. So I cleared him by a bunch, and I knew he was going to come back with a run. And then I was, coming off turn 4. I did not think I was going to be able to come to that bottom line. I thought he was already going to be at my inside bumper. So I was surprised I was able to get down in front of him before he could get, to that bottom line to get that drag race. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely very close. You getting down there, and I could almost hear you turning the wheel harder and harder left to try and get that thing down in front of that too before you got off the corner, because if you got to the inside, it was going to be hard to hold him off on a drag race with the side draft. But you get it done here tonight, and again, you got it done from the pole, so obviously you got some speed here at Michigan. How do you feel next week heading into to Milwaukee? Certainly a different beast. You got a 1 mile flat track. You got a little bit of braking here. Haven't had that too much here in Michigan and at Texas for the start of the season.
Yeah, I have no clue how that's going to go. I don't think I've ever raced. I might have raced there once or twice, but yeah, I like to think I like flat tracks, but then I go there and I don't perform well. So I like wide banking tracks. So should be interesting.
Yeah, it certainly will be. It's not a short track, but it kind of works like a short track sometimes with Milwaukee and New Hampshire with those flat, kind of real tight turn type of tracks. But you get it done here tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to or thanks to before we let you go?
Yeah, sure. You guys putting on a great broadcast. I want to thank you guys. Thank the guys at CORE Racing League for letting me run in their series, and then just my wife and my daughter. Just want to thank them for being awesome. Let me do this.
Absolutely. Well, congrats on the win here tonight. We'll see what you can do next week at Milwaukee.
Thank you.
That is your winner here tonight, the 69 of Cody Hemingway. Great run by all these guys. Again, another caution, really throwing a wrench in everything. This time it didn't happen under pit cycle. It happened at the front of the race, and just really threw a big twist into how these guys were going to finish out here tonight. But good win by Cody Hemingway. Real tough battle there by Nick Nickerson. And, I mean, realistically, a good finish considering his finish last week and where he possibly could have finished here tonight, getting involved in another wreck. So good job in second. Klinger, good job finishing in third as well. Nathan Estep, welcome back to the series and finishing there in the top 5. Kelly Pointer, a good top 5 as well. Heartbreak for some of those guys at the bottom, but all in all, good race here from the CORE Xfinity Series. Again, going to hop over there and join my fellow broadcaster, Jimmy Covert. Join us over there as well for UCRL for their Xfinity Series if you're not over there already. If you haven't done so, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Help us out and help you guys out to everything that CRN has to offer. But for myself and Jimmy, when he was here, we'll see you at the track.